right, so this is going to be for the Sunburst art installation for City of Palm Desert, the San Pablo art thing over there. So this is going to be basically a selfie stand. Put your phone on, you can take a picture, post it on your MyFace or your Instabook or whatever you want to do it there. So anyway, so I'm going to do a quick little explainer of like what I got going on in order to put it all together and make sure you don't get caught out on anything. So it's not too complicated. Just want to make sure the little details when it comes to this artwork stuff, it's the details that matter. So let's go over the details. So let's get after it. So again, not too many parts. You got 1/2-inch aluminum. You've got your sort of main panel, and then you got your 2 fins, and then you got the top plate. Now this here is going to be the cell phone holder. It's going to be made out of 1-inch aluminum, kind of routed from the top. So it'll be 1 inch tall. It'll be sort of this J picture or J shape. Now, I did tell Jose to put a bevel around the top edge just a little bit to ease it. So that way we're not getting anybody sliced open. We got 1/4-inch plate, top and bottom, kind of a match plate, sort of a bottom seal there like we do for our Monties. Okay, so just to explain what my strategy is here so that way you guys can kind of make sure it all goes together. It's going to be one giant Lord's party. Not all at once, but make sure you got plenty of Lords for this whole thing. And the other thing is, since the whole idea is to make it look super clean, so we didn't want to see anything possibly. And so we know that if I do dog bones, you'll have what's called the channel tag sticking out. So these are telltale evidence that we used dog bones. So I didn't want to use dog bones because when this goes together, it's got to look, super clean. But that being said, I wanted to make sure that this would be snug and there wasn't too much of the actual slot visible. So, you know what I mean? Like, so if I make it too tight, then you guys can't get it in. If I make it too wide, then you'll see the slot a little bit sticking out there. So I made these 0.52. I went ahead and calipered what 1/2 inch we had, and it was coming in at 0.495. So we had 5/1000ths before we got to half. And then we have basically 0.02. So we have 25/1000ths to mess with. So I think that should be enough, but for sure what I would do is test fit this. But you aren't going to have the benefit of the side to side, top and bottom, lock in that you have with the dog bones. So you just want to test fit this thing. You might end up having to kind of sanding these down a little bit so that they fit in there properly. And then I wouldn't mess with this yet, because once you get this Lords together, then this might change a little bit by the time that fits. So the whole idea is take it step by step and then make sure everything fits in before you pop Lords and then kind of work your way through it. So that being said, that's why I was going to kind of show you my strategy, what I would think in order to put this together. So what I would do is take your red vise, right? And I would go ahead and just put that on your table. Now this thing's going to get a little weighty because it's all 1/2 inch. So make sure it's bolted down good. And then I would put it like this and make sure you don't put any marks in it or anything, but clamp it well. And then now, since you've already test fit everything, make sure it's good, then I would go ahead and pop Lords and do your denture cream across the top. And then I would take the main plate there and then just kind of put that in there and get it in there. Boom, squish. Then the idea is that we want to kind of connect these two. So I have that space there, but we want to make sure those connect up well. So I would maybe fill that up a little bit while the Lords is still hot. As you know, new Lords doesn't stick to old Lords, so you kind of want to do this all at once. But I kind of fill up that pocket a little bit so to make sure that that connects. Then go ahead and put your denture cream on this like you do, and then go ahead and bring it down in. Now, before you do that, it's going to be one big scrape party. So you want to make sure all evidence of Lords is out of there. So like what I like to do is I like to go to the shear, grab some of that white steel that First Shop's always leaving, or laser department's always leaving. And you want to go ahead and just chop up. I always make just little 2x2 squares, make a whole bunch of disposable ones or little rectangles, whatever. And then that way you can get right in on that 90 and just do a nice scrape a couple corners, throw that thing in the trash, use another one, just disposable, scrape. So the whole idea is that you're going to get this all lined up, make sure the base is lined up perfectly on the bottom there. And then go ahead and make sure it's 90 and then scrape all edges. Not only do you want to make sure it just looks super clean, because when we're done, it's not going to be any welds. It's going to be all Lords, and it'll be like, ooh, how'd they do that? And how are we going to eat in these streets, But the other thing is there's a possibility still that Jim might want to do insert panels here in order to do all this copy and color. So there still is a chance that you might be tucking in surgically fit 063 panels on all sides or 040 that's going to get sent to UV. So that's why I'm trying to stress to you guys and make sure it's super clean in there. That way you're not setting yourself up for the okie doke. Now, he might still just paint this, do vinyl for the copy, and then we'll clear it. But I don't know what's up. So just to make sure you guys are safe, make sure you scrape all the Lords in there really, really good. Scrape it clean. Also, make sure a little Lords gets in there to take care of that possible, you might see a little sliver of that opening. So that way they don't know how we did it. So, except they'll watch the video, but because they always hating. So anyway, so you're going to do this, get this part, get the 4 fins done, right? Get that Lords up, let it cure. Boom. Then go ahead and set it on the ground. Now this is where you're going to retest fit this. Now this might have moved a little bit, the Lords, whatever. So you might need to open these up a little bit. I would just test fit that. And then once that's on there, fill these up good with Lords and then squish that down. Boom, you're good to go. Fill it up. And then, but again, make sure it's all scraped real good. Scraping this crevice right there, get all that clean. That way it's like, ooh, but also ready for panels in case. And then do the bottom, same thing, except this one's gonna probably be underground a little bit, but I would still make sure it's clean for panels. But fill it up a little bit. You'll just have this is a 16th island fill. But again, make sure it fits in there good. Lords it up, scrape, 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 good to go. Then once this is all done, I would then set it on the ground and then see what's up with this phone holder. Now I'll point that out. So Jim has this on the top view. You see the short side of the J is actually an imaginary line lined up with one of the panels there, kind of offset back. He has it in the center there. So what I would do is just kind of get this set up, and somebody's phone can play stunt double. And before you Lords it on there, get it lined up, and then have Jim come out. You guys can play with it in real life, take selfies, see what's up, kind of see what works. Maybe you want to justify it even further back. Maybe you want it in the center. I don't know. But essentially what you're going to do at that point, get it to where you like it, and then just Lords the bottom there and just squish it down. And again, you might want to get a small scraper for that, because you want to get inside there and scrape it clean, scrape all around, make it sexy. Now again, I told him to put a little bevel on it. Hopefully he can do the bevel top to try to safety it. But now that this thing is all one piece, this is where this comes in. As you know, 1/2 inch, any aluminum coming off the CNC is pretty sharp. But for some reason, 1/2 inch routed, that edge is beyond razor sharp. So you have this razor sharp edge on this. You'll have all these Sharpies. Now, you guys are way too busy right now to play public safety officer, but we want to minimize the chance that this, turns into some John Carpenter movie and somebody's going to end up spraying arterial red everywhere. We want to make sure that everything's nice and safe. So I would pass this on to paint. They're good at, that's what they do. They sand. So I would make sure that either pass this on to John G, if John's not watching this already, that we want to ease all these edges. We want to make sure all this is safe. I did radius this part, but all these edges are going to be out there for everyone to get cut open on. So let's make sure that all of this is safe. And same thing with this little guy. Make sure that bevel gets on there. And, this thing poking up like that doesn't catch anybody. These are straight up like sweater catchers. These are coat rippers, whatever you want to call it. So sleeve openers. So just make sure all that's safe. So once this thing's all Lords, and again, make sure you're scraping it clean. So that way, in case panels show up later, just be ready for that. And so then the bottom is just, it's Mjolnir's. This is what we do. You're just going to weld some 1/2 inch nuts on the bottom plate here. This plate. There you go. So you got 1/2 inch nuts there. Put your 3x3 there and cap the bottom like we do. And then that'll be ready to go. 24 inch, 3x3. So that's it for that. So I think that's it. Like I said, just be ready for possibility of panels and just want to make it look super clean. So, and then just safety it off. So whoever's in charge of that, just make sure everything's all safe. But I think that's it. So again, as usual, you guys are killing it. Good luck. We're all counting on you. So if you have any questions, hit me up.
Check the technique. Check the technique.